Morning. Welcome to a Sunday edition. Morning Scone presented by Brock, Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic, Hudco Roofing, HUDCORoofing.com. Hope all of you are having a fantastic start to your morning. If you're on Facebook, please like the page, share the post, like the page, share the post, like the page, share the post. YouTube, welcome back. Smash that like button. No YouTube yesterday. My fault. Game day. Who dat? Game day. Who dat? Game day. Who dat? Game day. Who dat? Ooh. All right. Saints, Bucs today. Fired up for it. Hopefully all of you are as well. I'm trying to see Facebook. All right. Great day of college football yesterday. Hope you enjoyed the open date. If you had it, a little late start. We went out last night. I didn't go to bed till like 2 in the morning. It was like a college bender. I mean, it was late night. So how did we do that in college so much? Like, I mean, I'm struggling this morning. How did we do that? I don't know. Anyway, really good day of college football yesterday. Braves went away from the World Series. Some takeaways. I think a lot of people are Georgia blasted Florida. It was close until the final 3 minutes of the first half. Hey, babe. Hi, Drew. Dad, show 'em up. Okay. Yeah, it was buzzing. Penn State kept it close, but lost their third straight. They fall to 5-3. Michigan State, what a rally! Down 16 late in the third quarter. They come back to beat Michigan 37-33. Erica's upset about it because old Scone Stradamus here had himself a day. I picked Wisconsin over Iowa.
Cheating.
Hit.
Cheater.
Picked Auburn over Ole Miss.
Cheater.
Hit. Picked Mississippi State over Kentucky. Hit.
Cheater.
How much cheating? I picked.
You knew these games.
I picked. Do what I do every week. I pick the big games. We pick the big games. Do what I do every week. Don't be all sore loser and stuff.
Cheater.
Sore loser. There's a new leader. Well, you did get Baylor.
No, there's not a new leader.
It's the one you got was Baylor.
There's not a new leader. We're even now.
No, there's one game we're missing. I can't remember what it is. Because we picked 7 games. There's one we're missing. I can't remember. I don't remember which one it is.
You're not struggling this morning?
I'm okay. Why? I can't see any comments on Facebook. If you're watching that on Facebook, do me a solid and just post a comment. I don't see any coming through. There's people watching, but I don't see comments. Let me see. See, I just posted that. Anyway. All right. Let's say some good mornings. See what y'all got. Good day of college football. Again, Saints Bucs today. 3:25. Who dat? Tim Gotro, Marcus Oob, good morning. How about this? Even though I did not have whiskey and wine yesterday, we still ended up last night at Don Juan Cigar Bar. Went to dinner, had a great dinner at DeGiulio Brothers, great spot. Then went and had a drink at Hayride Scandal, and then went to Don Juan Cigar Bar. And thank you to Erica Moscona, my designated driver. Let's see. Tim, not sure outcome of today's Saints game. I'm confident tomorrow's LSU practice was the best of the season so far. Great day of practice, for sure. Pat Huseman, good morning. Bubba Tatum, Gulf South, what's going on? Merrick Mathern, good morning. Who dat? Bubba, do you think Tucker has a binder? I hear that's key to success at LSU. Y'all are on a roll this morning, man. But what about Mel Tucker yesterday? I think that a lot of people who are in the what has he done camp wait until they start playing good teams camp. Is there a lot of people who can look at that now and go, oh, Mel Tucker? Similarly, a lot of people who are eyeing James Franklin now, not so much. After 3 straight losses. Bobby Honeycutt, good morning. Who dat? Jesse Brown, happy Halloween. It's true. Happy birthday to Nick Saban and to Dale Brown. Hope Drew has a great evening trick-or-treating. Do you think Mel Tucker improved his stock? I mean, I think, here's my point. I think Scott Woodward is going to do whatever he wants to do regardless. And that's more just public perception. Do I think fans might be more on board now? Yes. But again, you're only as good as your most recent game. Look at James Franklin. Matt Plavidal, driving home from Charlotte, North Carolina. All right, Matt, safe travels today. Tad Page, good morning. Like button smashed. And down the home stretch in college football, indeed. Tommy Howard, it's why I don't go out past 9 p.m. anymore. It's so crazy. Alex Day, good morning, Matt. How about Michigan State Mel Tucker? A lot of convo today about Michigan State Mel Tucker. Spurge, what's up, man? Good morning. Tim, how hot do you think Dan Mullen's seat is today? Yeah, man. Part of me, sympathizes a bit because of the competition. But, everyone's going to make the big deal about the record in the last 8 or 10, whatever it is. But, they were in the SEC championship game last year, but no business losing back-to-back years to LSU as a double-digit favorite. No business losing at Kentucky earlier this year. You know what I mean? There's some of those that are head-scratching. I mean, I can handle losing to Bama and Georgia. But losing this year to Mississippi State and LSU, Kentucky and LSU. Let's see. Ryan Pike, morning, Matt. Let's make some money today. Parlay Cowboys minus 1.5 and the Bengals laying 8.5. Ooh, that's a big number for the Bengals. Janet Anderson, Mississippi newspaper gave Kiffin a D+ from yesterday's coaching job. I didn't get to watch much of it. We, went to dinner. It was on at the restaurant. I watched pretty much the first half. Saw, Matt Corral get hurt and then come back. Good for him for toughing it out. My guess is he went into the locker room, got a shot, wrapped it up, and went back out. Tough guy, man. Let's see. Is it safe to say the Lane train is crossed off the big list? See, I don't think so, Pat, but I think that goes to show you, the perception people have based on one game, and it's week to week. So, Ole Miss is 6-2. The quarterback got hurt, toughed it out yesterday, but they lost to Auburn. How do they finish? What if they come back and beat A&M? Then stock up, right? Same Michigan State. What happens if they lose next week? People are, Mel Tucker, do we really want that guy? That's what you'll start to hear. Michigan State's got a tough home stretch. I mean, they're 8-0, but they got a tough stretch, man. They got, they still got to play, this week they're at Purdue, but they still got to play at Ohio State. They got Penn State, which maybe Penn State doesn't look as tough as it once did, but it is a home game for them. Oh, there's YouTube or Facebook comments. There we go. Okay. Good morning, Scott Jones, Devin Charpentier, Randy Dabdude, Michael Angeron. Good morning, Michael. Patrick Rivers Bloom. Good morning. Scott Jones. Good morning. Scott Jones. Franklin is no longer an option. I'll keep repeating what I've said, Scott, which is I heard the initial contact with James Franklin did not go well, and it sounds like ear to ground. Penn State is working on an extension for James Franklin. If he does leave, I think USC would be more likely. Drew Hurst, good morning. Ross Meir, good morning. How about Florida fiasco at the end of the half? Could Mullen be in trouble? Yeah. The interesting thing is he played Richardson because everybody was clamoring for him, and Emory Jones had the turnover issues, and then Richardson goes out there and it's 3 first-half turnovers. Florida don't protect the ball, bro. It's what cost me the LSU game. It's what cost me the Kentucky game. Greg Phillips, Charlie Gale, Carol Messina, good morning, happy Halloween. Derek Gordon, Sharky Jackson, good morning. Joel Smith, Alec Campo, good morning. Alec, Gamecoin, 4 cents soon. Hey, remember this, tomorrow, if you go to the website, thegamecoin.net, you'll see your countdown. Tomorrow at 1 p.m. Central, Gamecoin will be frozen for 72 hours while they implement the new smart contract. So think of it like a software upgrade, like your phone. You can't use your phone while your phone's updating software. Think of it like that. So all good stuff, but it's going to be frozen. So no buying, selling, or trading of Gamecoin from Monday at 1 p.m. to Thursday at 1 p.m. Central. So if you're going to make your purchases before the new smart contract, I would get on it today or tomorrow before 1 o'clock. Adam Zander, good morning. Scott Dickerson, do not hire Kiffin. We'll see. Adam Michaels, what's up? If we only look at last week, Tucker is the only option. Well, that's the point. Like, in the next week, we could be having a completely different conversation. You just can't fall victim to one moment. Think about the same with Ogeron, right? By that logic, the Florida game would have saved his job. Well, then after Ole Miss, he would have been fired. You know what I mean? That's why you don't have a one-game sample. You don't consider a one-game sample. Kenneth Kyle, Matt, is Lincoln Riley a candidate? I think LSU would certainly talk to Lincoln Riley. He's a massive buyout, though. Blaine Smith, Aaron Anderson flipping because of coaching change reminds me of Dylan Moses. He was also 50-50. That's what the recruiting people say, even when he committed to LSU. Warren Beasley, what about Wake Forest coach? I know, right? I think LSU will aim higher, but that is an impressive job they're doing this year. Devin Kelly didn't get the YouTube notification or the Facebook. Interesting, not sure why. Well, thanks for jumping on. Anyway, Brad Osborne, most of the LSU prospects haven't looked great since the job came open. Franklin's 0-3. Lane's continually made bad choices. Matt Rule seems like an interesting name if he gets interviewed. But it's interesting you say that, though, because Matt Rule, the Panthers are on a 4-game losing streak. He's in trouble up there. Brandon Atchison, weird. A lot of people saying they didn't get a notification. Adam, so coach must be undefeated bear coach. That's the point, right, Adam? Like, you can't just abide by a small sample. I mean, you have to look big picture. Kyle DeVille, what do you think about Mississippi State beating the Wildcats? Kyle DeVille, I picked Mississippi State in the game. Picked Mississippi State. Actually placed a wager on Mississippi State to win and to cover. Laying the was one. His virtual pick, I think it was one, but pick State. So feel good about it. Chuy Gutierrez, don't want Kiffin. He makes stupid in-game decisions. Brandon Ashton, go Braves. One more win. How about that? I didn't get to watch it, but it looked like the Astros were winning late. But the Braves rally. Let's see. Deshaun Morgan, morning, Matt, and Atlanta franchise about to win a championship. You know what's weird? The Braves don't seem to fall into that category just because there's no MLB team in New Orleans. So I get like Saints Falcons, and nobody really cares about the Hawks. It seems like it's more just a Saints Falcons than a thing. But Steve Colson, is the Moscona House giving out Gamecoin this Halloween instead of candy? No, we will not be giving out Gamecoin, Steve Colson. I will be hodling all of my Gamecoin and doing so gleefully. There will be no Gamecoin given out at the Moscona household for Halloween. Do not knock on my door and ask for Gamecoin. However, if you do knock on my door and ask me to help you buy Gamecoin, I will show you how. Carrie Cunningham, what time does your nightcap show start on Wednesday? Always catch it at the tail end. Carrie, we start at 9 p.m. Central, right around there. Right around 9 p.m. Central-ish. Blaine Smith, if Mullen gets fired, I immediately call him to be our OC. Yeah, if he gets fired at Florida, he'll get another head coaching job. Julie, Michelle, McKee. But something to keep in mind, too, is that Mullen he was in the SC Championship game a year ago and had a better game against Florida than basically anybody. They lost Trask and Pitts and, a lot of those Kadarius Toney, a lot of their studs from last year's team. And the AD that hired him is still the AD there. So the AD is not going to fire him after a couple of years. But So I don't think he's going to get fired. But I think next year becomes a pretty intense year. Where are we? Joel Smith. Is there a name we haven't heard? A dark horse candidate. Jimbo Fisher? After last night, who's up? You, the Riot, or his celebrity picker? I'm pretty sure either Eric and I are tied now or I'm winning. Let's see. Will Myers. Morning, Matt. Any thoughts on only one UF player staying out for the alma mater? Seems class on Mullins' part to do that. I don't really think about it. I didn't see it or care. Nick Diaz, conversation with Billy Gamilla on Twitter. Yeah, I mean, no disrespect or anything, but I don't believe Billy Gamilla has sources that I would trust. So, I mean, I don't mean that in any disrespectful way. I'm sure it comes across that way, but unless you hear it from somebody like connected and reputable, I mean, you know, that's the thing I go back to over and over and over again with podcasters, bloggers. I encourage anyone to make content, but be careful when you try to dabble into the breaking news stuff. Trust people that actually do that for a living. I know that's going to come across dickish, excuse me, but I mean, it's what it is. Daniel Lauren, what's your guess on the score of the Saints versus the Bucs? I picked Tampa 27-24. Marvin Howard, I say offer Dabo the bank, bring Venables with him a package. By the way, the thing on Jimbo too is I don't doubt at all that Jimbo wants the job and that Scott Woodward will want to hire him. Logistically, I don't know if that can happen. We'll see. Spurge, love seeing Aranda beat Texas. That's one of the ones Erica got. DC Vlog, LSU, Gulf South, good morning to Iowa. I said that one I had Wisconsin, she had Iowa. Georgia, Florida, we both had that. Oh, is that the one I left off? Got it. Where are we? Brooke Bordeaux, Tommy Howard, Garrett Height, good morning. Jason Trump, what's up? Let's see. Merrick Mathern with Taysom out. Who's the backup quarterback? Well, remember, Taysom isn't the backup quarterback anyway. Like, going into a game. So, Trevor Siemian is the backup in game week. So, like, if you remember last year when Drew Brees got hurt, Jameis went in for Drew Brees at quarterback. Because Taysom, all week, they game planned his role as his Taysom Hill / role. So same thing here. If something were to happen during the game to Jameis, Trevor Siemian would play quarterback. If Taysom were available the next week, they might prepare him to be the starting quarterback. Does that make sense? Scott Loom 12. What did you drink last night? It's a Buffalo Trace. And some wine with dinner. And then a couple of beers. Let's see. Randall Offrecht, good morning. Got my tickets to the Saints game. Have you been to the Saints Halloween game? I'm pumped. I have not, Ryan. At least not that I remember. Maybe as a kid. Not that I remember now. LSU's 24.5-point underdog. Take LSU in the points. It's a lock. You're going to take LSU in the points against Bama and Tuscaloosa? Ooh. Let's see. Is Cincinnati's schedule hurt the coach's chance of getting the LSU job? No, Ryan. I just don't think Luke Fickell is going to leave Cincinnati for LSU. And that may sound strange, but Midwest guy, and I think he would prefer a Midwest job, Big Ten job, that sort of thing. And the other thing I was told with Fickle is he is a, Cincinnati going into the Big 12. He's basically told people he feels like he's already a Power 5 head coach. So, for whatever that's worth. Matt Lusto, good morning. Michelle Moore, good morning. Let's see. For the love of everything good, please not Jimbo. Listen, I don't doubt at all that Jimbo would want to come to Baton Rouge. Oh, he would want to come to Baton Rouge. And that Scott Woodward would want to bring him here. It's also in part why Scott Woodward did a deal with Jimbo where he had no buyout. Okay. I have no doubt there's mutual interest there. Pushing that across the finish line is tough, though. And I don't understand, like Ryan Bigham, for the love of everything good, please not Jimbo. I don't understand. I really don't understand the segment of the fan base that doesn't like Jimbo. Like that, for the love of God, please not Jimbo. Like, do you see what's happened at Florida State since he left? Like, they're a wreck. Like, that program is objectively awful. And, I mean, he won a national championship there. Like, I don't understand the LSU fans that push back so hard against that. Great recruiter, quarterback developer, good offensive mind, hires good assistants, from the Saban tree. I just don't understand. I'm not saying he's got to be your favorite, like, but you know what I mean? I just don't understand, like, why there's the for the love of God, not Jimbo. Yeah, for the love of God, please not a guy that's put 4 quarterbacks in the first round and won a national championship. God, what an awful hire that would be. Like, what are you talking about? I don't understand that mentality. Kyle DeVille, Matt, I know Taysom is out. I heard we get Thomas back in this game. That's not true. Thomas hasn't been practicing. Let's see. Jason Aguilar, what's up? What is Drew for Halloween? Drew is a Ghostbuster. Caleb Brignac, how about the women's basketball team last night? I saw they scored like 120, something like that. It's crazy. Tim Casalot, good morning, or Casalo. Let's see, what's up, Matt? After watching Kiffin last night, I agree with you. Going for it on 4th down every time. Not taking easy points, cost you a game. Showed last night. Any chance you think defensive slows down Brady in the Bucs offense? I do, Daniel. I think we saw the Saints do it twice last year. Actually, 3 times. Defense is pretty good in the playoffs, too. But, Breeze gave up a pick 6 at the end to Devin White. I think, no Antonio Brown. Marshawn Lattimore's really owned Mike Evans throughout their career. I just don't know if the Saints offensively can get going against that defense. They're the best run defense in the league. So, and if you're trying to play ball control, they have a thin secondary. This is one of those games where you got to let Jameis air it out a little bit, but you also don't have receiving weapons. So, tough matchup. Danny Mumfrey, Matt bought some Game Coin last night. Excited to see what happens. There you go, Danny. Welcome aboard the train. Matt, did you ever go to Kenny's Key West back in the day? Chris, it feels like when I was doing radio on like Rock 93.7, I think we did some remotes at Kenny's Key West, or they advertised. I might have gone there. I just don't remember. It's been a long time. But I feel like yes. Steven Schneider, Saints D-ball's out today, puts the league on notice. I do think the defense will play well. I just don't think the offense can move the ball against Tampa. Good morning from Tupelo. Who's that? Anthony, what's up? LSU Bama beats beat Bama into submission. Desmond Lebrano, what's up? Matty Ice, what are the kid who threw for 13 touchdowns? I didn't see that, but good for him. Wow. Corey Lalonde, hey Matt, do you think there are any of the top names out there would be a bad hire for LSU and why? You know what, Corey? I've said this a couple times, man. I'm so much more at ease with this hire than 5 years ago because we've seen LSU win another national championship. And the fact that you've had 3 straight coaches do it, it just further underscores how much of an enormous advantage you have at LSU. And, you know, if you get someone who is a proven competent head coach, you know, I think they can win again at a high level. I don't think there's that one very obvious choice, right? I don't think there's that one candidate that everybody wants that you say, man, you go all in on that guy. Yeah, I mean, I think you take Nick and Kirby and cross them off the list. I think everybody else is potentially in play for Scott Woodward. You know, you go through your process to see who has interest and you make your move. If it's, I mean, I know I've heard the Dabo stuff, heard the Jimbo stuff, heard the Fickle stuff. Everyone asked about Riley, and you know, I know LSU had contact with Brian Kelly, who, as I'm told, was not interested, was going to stay at Notre Dame. You know, I mean, you make those calls. Like, you make a call to everybody. So, you know, but I don't think any of those would be bad. You know, I mean, and then you know, people do kind of get down the list and they say, what about, you know, someone like Napier? And speaking of English, I'm not pushing Napier. Like, I think Billy Napier would do a great job here. I don't think he's going to get the job because I think Woodward has his top tier to where if he gets, like, he's not going to get past a certain person who he knows absolutely will take the job if they offer. So I don't think they get that far down the list. But fair or unfair, I think it's what it is. Joel Smith, do you think Chris Peterson's coming out of retirement? I don't think so, Joel. I mean, I've asked that question, and everyone I asked that question to, time and again, the answer comes back, he's really content in retirement. Like, he does not want to coach again. So, I mean, that could change. You know, I mean, he's one of those guys we talked about that, you know, left coaching at a young age. I think as coaching has evolved, you know, these guys that are working 12 months out of the year, 80, 100-hour weeks every week, and you know they go so hard, so fast, and the money's gotten so big. It's like they work like mad from 20 to 50, or from in their 20s to in their 50s, make a ton of money, and then retire. I mean, some of them just can't quit it, like Saban. But I mean, look at Urban Meyer, who's gotten out and gotten back in. Like, you know, Bob Stoops. Look at Gene Chizik. Turner Gill. I mean, there's a lot of these guys, Chris Peterson, who have just been content to walk away at a younger age. Let's see. Did you enjoy your T-Bob free Saturday? I know when you're shooting. Yeah, it's all good, man. We'll be back at it tomorrow with Scone and Tea. Jason Aguilar, I don't see how Catholic lost. Sampson still got a touchdown, 100 yards. It's going to be a start. Sampson didn't have 100 yards and a touchdown. I think he had one catch in the game. And I'll tell you, that kid from Woodlawn, the quarterback who's committed to Purdue, it was the first time I've seen him play. What's his name? Ricky Collins, is that it? He's committed to Purdue. That kid's a stud. Like, he's a D1. He's a D1 player. Marcus Randall did a really good job with that team. Let's see. Did the Saints go for Watson before the trade deadline? Daniel, I don't think so. I mean, Watson would have to waive his no trade clause, and apparently the only team he's done that for is Miami. Chris Fondo, after yesterday, Mel Tucker would be the number one choice. But we talked about that a little bit earlier. That kind of ebbs and flows week to week, right? Kyle DeVille, do you think we still get Walker Howard? Kyle, I think it depends on who LSU hires. If LSU hires a coach that runs an offense where you need a dual threat quarterback, then no, I don't. But I think Walker wants to go to LSU, and if as long as I hire a coach that has a system that fits Walker's skill set, then yeah, I do. Let's see. Kenneth, Kyle, Matt, you ready for LSU basketball? I am, Kenneth. I think both men's and women's teams are going to be really good this year. I'm looking forward to it. I just want a coach who won't hire Jerry Sullivan as our wide receiver coach. He was also passing game coordinator, remember? Let's see. Why is Dave Aranda not getting more attention? Good question, Caleb, but that's another one, right? Where, like, you kind of become beholden to results, which is a good thing, but Dave's only in his second year as a head coach, and, I think if he were offered the job, he'd take it. I just don't know that that's going to be the direction that that Woodward goes. Let's see. As always, just shout out to Brock, Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic. Thanks to everybody. Brock Rock and Wine was a great success last night. Of course, After Hours Clinic is open today at Brock. So if you need an orthopedist, get to Brock. And Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. I've kind of past few days really pushed. Well, you know what? Let's do this.
Someone you know, Scone, Ontario.
All you need is Hudco.
Call Hudco Roofing.
364
1007.
Let's see. Kevin Carroll, Jimbo would be a great hire here, in my opinion. I think so. I think he's a great coach. I just don't understand all the hate. Is Mel Tucker on Scott Woodward's radar? Yes, he's been on Scott Woodward's radar. I mean, he was on Scott Woodward's radar from the beginning, which is why whenever this initial odds came out on coaching search and Mel Tucker was plus 1,200, I told y'all better get on that action. And then a day later, he was plus 200. He was the betting favorite because Vegas just missed that one. Let me not say Vegas, because Jimmy Ott corrected us. Las Vegas sports books don't put those odds on coaching searches. There's a lot of the online sports books. So let me just say, a lot of the sports books, the betting sites, just missed that. David Freeman, heard Scott already has his guy, and it's somebody no one thought would say yes. Hum to the moon. That word is certainly traveling around town, that Scott's had his choice from before the season. But Scott also is extremely tight-lipped and does not talk to anyone. And even in spite of that, I can tell you, I know for a fact that LSU has made contact with Luke Fickell's people, James Franklin's people, Brian Kelly's people, well, indirectly because of Jimmy Sexton, who has Lane Kiffin as a client, Jimbo Fisher as a client. I mean, all of these conversations have been had and interest has been expressed. So maybe he's got his guy, and he's doing all this due diligence in case something falls apart at the end. Always possible. Did they announce game time for Bama? Not yet. We'll know that tomorrow morning. So they did. CBS did place the 6-day window, so we'll know. We'll know what time the game is. Actually, they should announce it today. So we'll know if it's and so CBS wanted to wait and put a hold on it to see if they would take the game. So it could be a 2:30 CBS game. Or ESPN, if it goes to ESPN, they've said it could be either 11 a.m. or 6 p.m. So Let's see. Oops. I'm trying to see the rest of the schedule for this week so we can kind of, let's see. Sorry, y'all. See, I mean, I didn't think there's any way it would end up at 11 a.m., but I guess it could. So Missouri, Georgia, no. Auburn, Texas A&M will be the 2:30 CBS game, most certainly. So basically, the question is, does ESPN? Yeah, so Auburn, Texas A&M will be the 2:30, will be CBS 2:30, most certainly. So essentially, does ESPN put Missouri, Georgia, or LSU, Bama at 11 a.m.? And there is some thought to say, well, you could put LSU, Alabama on ESPN at 11 a.m. because you follow game day. You know what I mean? It's like game day goes right into that, so people would stay to see Alabama. There might be some thought. Or maybe they put Georgia there to say, well, people, you get the number one team in the country, which there is some cachet to say that. Or do you put the number one team in the country at 6 p.m.? God, I hope LSU Bama's not at 11 a.m. I mean, then again, LSU's 2-0 at 11 a.m. this year. So, for what that's worth. Tommy Howard, Matt, you've made it to when your viewers have to go through 2 ads to get to your video. Congrats. Sorry, Tommy. That is Google AdSense. That is not me. That is how Google monetizes pages. So, apologies on YouTube that you have to sit through the ads. But as I always say, it's free content. So, if the trade-off for consuming free content is you sit through ads, then okay. By the way, 127 watching there on YouTube. That's awesome, but only 43 likes. Can we please smash that like button? Let's get that number up. Appreciate that greatly. 73 hanging out on Facebook. Thanks to y'all. Jacob Hibbard. People think it's Jimbo's fault FSU is a wreck. Like, Jacob, I could believe that for a year, but like Jimbo's last season at Florida State, they were preseason number 3, and he lost his quarterback in the season opener against Alabama. Like, and things unraveled. That would happen for a lot of teams when you lose your starting quarterback. So, and then he went to A&M, and he's built that thing up to where they're a contender. Like, look at what has happened at Florida State since. I mean, it's a disaster. I mean, Willie Taggart was a nightmare. Mike Norvell, they thought, was a good hire, and he has been anything but. Like, it is hard to win at Florida State because they don't give coaches resources there. That's always been the problem. Like, that's what Jimbo always complained about. That's what I talked about forever when people are like, oh, he's never leaving Florida State. Yes, he was always trying to get a better job out of Florida State because he wasn't given the resources to win there. Facilities weren't good. They wouldn't pay. He lost assistants every single year because they wouldn't pay good assistants. So assistants would get poached. Like, yeah, I mean, it's hard to win at Florida State. You're one of 3 Power 5 teams in your state. You don't have great resources. You're in the ACC. Like, it's hard to win there. It's not what it was when Bobby Bowden was running roughshod over a weak conference. Let's see. Jimmy Magoo. Matt was too busy partying at weekends. Partying at weekends. I don't remember weekends. Let's see. Like you said at Florida State, when Saban leaves the team, they win championships for years after. FSU can't buy a win since he left. A&M doesn't look like a program built to win for years to come. I just kind of went through that, though. Like, that is a hard place to win. I don't know what to tell you. David went, and by the way, like, Saban obviously wanted LSU and put LSU in a great place to win, but Les Miles continued that. For all we could discredit him for some of his stubbornness, like, they won the championship in 2007, and then he built up another championship roster in 2011. I mean, you cannot discredit that. That it was Les's program, for better or worse, but the man did still win a championship and play for another. Happy Halloween. Baseball today at 11 a.m. Come join the party. I'll not be doing that. It's already 10 o'clock. Woo. Rapping batches. What's up, Dave Vendur? Everybody on the Tucker train because he beat Michigan till Hell, everybody beats Michigan. Dave, you do realize that was Michigan's first loss of the season. Jared Guillory, Harbaugh is overrated. I agree. I'm genuinely surprised by that. They and I'll tip my cap to Michigan because they went all in for Harbaugh, and I believe in that. I believe if you have your guy, you just don't take no for an answer. And they didn't. They identified him. They got him from the Niners. You go to Michigan, and by the way, another further evidence of guys that will leave the NFL for a college job. Yeah, man, he left the Niners and went to Michigan. They believed in him, and I mean, he won at the University of San Diego. He won at Stanford. He won with the Niners. I mean, I'm genuinely surprised that Harbaugh hasn't had more success in Michigan. Ray Lusto. Saints can empty the bag of tricks on the Bucs today. I hope so, man. Spurge, where do I get one of those GME t-shirts? Spurge, they haven't made apparel yet. That shirt that I have, the Game Coin shirt that I have, I saw a family member wearing it like on his Instagram, so I was like, hey, how do I get one? And his neighbor had made them, and so like he had an extra and gave me one. That's literally how I got it. But I do know that GameCoin is setting up like a merch store, so you'll be able to like buy GameCoin merchandise if you want it. John K. Any mention of Hugh Freeze? I think what I've heard all along is that this is going to be a squeaky clean hire, and I think Hugh Freeze's issues at Ole Miss will probably scratch him off the list. Don't look now. The best team in Texas is Baylor. Dave Aranda's got him playing good football, man. Rapping Batches, hoping for a light turnout for trick-or-treaters tonight so I can eat the rest of the candy. Oh, it's good. Erica made the gigantic mistake of putting the Halloween candy in the pantry. Yeah, like last weekend, it's gone. Yesterday, I had to go buy more Halloween candy. The whole bag's gone. I just like chipped away at it the whole week. The little Milky Ways, the little Twix. It's like you grab one here, grab one there before you know the week's gone and there's no more candy. Let's see. Looking forward to hiding and then throwing away 60% of the candy my kids bring home. Let's see. Matt, only logical to raise the roof during the HUD coach jingle. I like it. Hugh Freeze won't be allowed to coach in the SEC again as long as he keeps current commissioner. That's not true, David. The commissioner can't tell teams who they can hire. He can make suggestions, but Hugh Freeze would get hired in the SEC again if somebody wanted it. Lou Bassie, any chance for Lincoln Riley? Went through that a little bit. LSU, I think, does make the call. I think his buyout's probably a little too high, and I don't know why he would leave Oklahoma. And I don't understand why LSU. See, here's my thing about Riley, right? He inherited a great situation from Bob Stoops. Good young offensive mind, no doubt. But every time he gets to the playoff, they get the crap kicked out of him. We saw that firsthand. LSU put 60 on him in a half. What are we talking about? Let's see. Give us your top 4 coming in Tuesday. Let's see. How would I rank them, or what will the committee do? Because the committee's going to have Cincinnati in there, and I would not. Cincinnati, I don't even think I'd have them ranked. Maybe I'd have them like 25th or something like that. Let's see. I would go Georgia, Bama, me, if I had a vote. I'd go Georgia, Bama, Michigan State, Oklahoma. That would be my 4. Let's go for 11 a.m. I love that people like rooting for LSU to play Bama at 11 a.m. now. Maybe you catch them napping a little bit. I would be so genuinely surprised if LSU plays Bama at 11 a.m. But I guess it's possible. If you're ESPN, you're sitting there, you have one of two choices. You say, all right, College Game Day ends at 11 a.m. Do we want to go straight from College Game Day into LSU Bama, or straight from College Game Day into having the number 1 team in the country, Georgia, against Missouri? And then who would you rather have in prime time? Let's see. Jeremy Fontana, hope the Saints can pull it off today. Me too, man. Chris Fontenot, surprised. Harbaugh's failure also. Great game yesterday, weekend's best game. Yeah, man, that was a great game. The Michigan State game was a great game. And I am just genuinely surprised that, I mean, when Michigan was up 16 late in the third, I'm like, oh, they got this. They're going to cruise. And then, man, kid missed a field goal. Michigan State scored. They went for two. Looked like Michigan was going right back down. Then they put in the backup quarterback, and he fumbled. They fumbled the handoff. Michigan State got a score, tied it, and then all of a sudden, man, you're like, oh. Anyway, good old Michigan State, man. They won the fourth quarter. Let's see. Matt, how can you say you don't think Scott will go in Aranda's direction? Because only second year. What about Tucker only going third year, keep it consistent? No, I understand you, Jarrett. And I'm not saying what I would do. I'm just telling you based on conversations I've had and the interest that seems to be there. So it's not about what I think they should do or why they would do it. I could also point out that Mel Tucker's 49 and he's been a Saban assistant 4 different times. He's got experience as an NFL defensive coordinator. He's also got more experience, coaching experience and SEC experience than Dave Aranda. So there's a lot of different reasons. But the point you make is fair about being, and I think that's probably the drawback that a lot of fans have with Mel Tucker is they look and they go, yeah, he's only been head coach 3 years, which is true. It's fair. You know, he doesn't have the head coaching skins on the wall, but I think overall as a coach, I think he's got more skins on the wall. Let's see. Can Matt Rule be the next Nick Saban? Matthew, I don't think anybody can be the next Nick Saban. He's literally the greatest coach in the history of the sport. I mean, to be the next Nick Saban, you'd have to be the greatest coach in the history of the sport. Let's see. Let's see now. FSU is one of 4 Power 5 schools in the state. Who's the fourth? Florida State, Miami. Let's see. Dedrick DeRozan, what's up? Enjoying the show. Thank you, Dedrick. Appreciate that. Jimmy Magoo, weekends was the teen club on Bennington back in the day. Go Tigers, still not sold on Mel Tucker. Shocking. I'd rather Aranda or Kiffin. So you'd rather Aranda, who has fewer skins on the wall than Mel Tucker, but just because there's familiarity? I don't know. Bama 58-20. Jeff, what's up, Jeff? Saints beat the Bucs 27-20. I don't think the Saints win today. Look, man, y'all know me. Like, I would love to be doing a post-game, rant after the Saints game today live on YouTube, celebrating a win. I don't think that's going to happen, however. But it's okay. Like, I'm going into today not expecting a win. I'm just going to hold out. Like, I'm going to keep saying this. The Saints you can lose this one, but you got to win next week against Atlanta. Like, you've got to beat Atlanta next week. I think they will. But it's just going to be so hard today. I mean, against that defense, when you have no receiving options, anyway. Let's see. Go Tigers says we know Rand is a good coach, and we know Mel Tucker's a good coach. That's a stupid comment. Let's see. Tucker is Charlie Strong, Willie Taggart. So, Jared, basically because he's a black coach. I mean, come on. Like, that's an asinine comment. I mean, why wouldn't you say Will Muschamp? Come on, bro. And like, Tucker couldn't handle the pressure at LSU. That dude has been an NFL defensive coordinator. Like, and you know nothing about him, and you're saying he couldn't handle the pressure. Like you probably didn't know who Mel Tucker was 6 weeks ago, and you're definitively saying he can't handle the pressure. That's just so stupid. Like some of y'all, Jesus. Anyway. Jeremy Klein, good morning. Corey Lalonde, reminder, Saban was not the legend he is when he was hired at LSU. For sure. Kyle, which thoughts on the wide receiver that decommitted and went to Bama? Not surprised. Shea Dixon told us he was 50-50, or actually, Anderson said he was 50-50 on his commit before Ogeron was fired. And so, I mean, look, that's collateral damage that's going to happen anytime there's a coach change. You're going to lose some commits. It just happens. So LSU should be fine. They've managed to get really good receivers over the years. Craig Duga, can we all finally agree anyone is better than O? Yeah, I think we're all there, Craig. Chewy Gutierrez, how can people hate on Tucker? He's winning at Michigan State. Come on, man. I agree. It's like, and I'm telling you, like, I will lean more on people within, because I'll tell y'all, I mean, that's a blind spot for me. I mean, I know who Mel Tucker is. I know he was a coordinator for both Nick and Kirby. An awesome recruiter. But I don't have a great firsthand account or awareness. But when I ask people in the coaching profession, they're like, dude, like he's a monster. Okay, I believe. Look at the results. He's doing amazing. Let's see. The White Llama Show. Funny how people actually in the game who do this, for a living, say Mel Tucker's great. Meanwhile, mouth breathers on the internet say he isn't. It's kind of how it goes. Found a bottle of Four Roses Small Batch Select. It's the best whiskey I've had. I've had some medium ones. Nice. Yeah, I do need to try the Small Batch Select. Four Roses is always a winner. I mean, all of their releases are amazing. And I've had the small batch, but I've not yet had the Small Batch Select. And I've heard it is fantastic. Where are we? Saban gets Drew Brees at Miami. College and pro football look different, of course. Saying Mel is good and respected, that's probably true, but doesn't mean he's ready for a top 5 LSU job. Then who is? So Dave Aranda's ready for that? He's been head coach for his second season now? Is Lane Kiffin ready for that? Who is ready for that? Someone who's had a top 5 job. Nick Saban, Kirby Smart. Is that it? Come on, man. Hiring a coach is about identifying qualities. Look at Jay Johnson. Jay Johnson was at Arizona. Was he ready for a top 5 job? For the number 1 job in the country? Seems to be doing okay right now. We'll see how it goes whenever they actually go play, but so far results seem pretty good. I think as an athletic director, you're looking for certain qualities in a coach. Like, what you're looking for in a hire. You find those qualities in a coach and you roll with it. Let's see. D. Granger, as a New Orleans native, it's sad to see the comments about Tucker's coaching ability. That's why New Orleans separated itself from the rest of Louisiana, not the same at all. What, I don't understand what it has to do with New Orleans, you being a New Orleans native. I don't understand, like, what that has to do with anything. Dabo going to LSU should be crazy. Trivia, imagine if Tucker had LSU resources and talent. I think that's trivia what Scott Woodward has to consider, right? I mean, unless if you can pull someone from a top 5 job, which I think he'll try to do. I think you make the call to Dabo and you make the call to Jimbo and you try to make those connections, but and see who you can pull. But otherwise, you're betting on qualities of a coach and characteristics that you're looking for in a hire. Let's see. Morning, Matt. Would you be okay with Scott Woodward if he brings Mel Tucker to Baton Rouge? Yeah. Cortland, Aranda inherited a winning team from Rule. Michigan State was going downhill. Tucker had to restock with transfers. I think both are doing a great job. Let's see. Anything else? Brian Pike, Lee Ballius, good morning. Arion Williams, who dat? Good morning. Let's see. John Malone, how's Drew's doing good. Thanks, man. Appreciate that. He's just sitting in there watching the show on Erica's phone. Hey, Drew. 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 Anyway. Let's see. Most of us don't have the same views as Baton Rouge surrounding areas. I mean, D. Granger, I was born in New Orleans. What's your point? It just, I still don't understand, like, what that has to do with anything. Like, that's just, like, the geography of being from New Orleans doesn't have anything to do with the coaching search at all. Like, it's just, I mean, I'm not disagreeing with you on people crapping on Mel Tucker for no reason. But the geography of you being from New Orleans just means nothing. Like, I mean, if you're talking about a minority population being more welcoming to a minority candidate, if that's where you're going with that, then I think that would be anywhere, regardless of geography. Anyway, whatever. I think I understand what you're trying to say. I just disagree with you. Because I think you could find pockets of like-minded and like-minded people anywhere. I wouldn't label any area one way. I mean, I live in Baton Rouge. I think Tucker would be great. Am I not supposed to think that? But I was born in New Orleans, so All right, let's see. Gulf South. On Whiskey and Wine last week, you said an Alabama official told you Tucker and Napier would worry them. Did they say why? Hard to believe Jimbo or Dabo wouldn't. Yeah. And I think it was, keep in mind, that conversation was several weeks ago before there was actual, like, real conversation about Jimbo or Dabo or anything. Sorry. But I'm sorry, to finish that thought. It was basically, that was said in reference to the candidates that had been mentioned already at that point. And we were talking Franklin, Lane Kiffin, Napier, Mel Tucker, like that group of candidates. Fickle. All right, I think we're just about done. A Rapping Batches is Georgia for real, bro. Their defense is incredible. Oh my God. Yes, Georgia's for real. I think anybody is going to have a lot of trouble scoring on Georgia. And amazing. Imagine if they get, like, the other thing people say is, like, well, LSU's so banged up. Y'all don't realize how banged up Georgia is. I mean, they're still without their two best receivers, haven't had them all year. McIntosh, running back, didn't play yesterday. Their All-American defensive back, the transfer they got from West Virginia, Tyke Smith, he's done for the year. He only played in like 2 games. I mean, Georgia's a banged-up team too, man, and they're still rolling. Yeah, Georgia's very much for real. Okay. I think we're about done, y'all. Kyle Aycock. Good morning, Matt. Got some game coin yesterday. Jamar Chase for Offensive Rookie of the Year. Oh, Kyle, I think Jamar's got it locked up. I mean, barring something unforeseen and drastic the rest of the way, I would be, because there's no rookie quarterback that could pirate it like Justin Herbert did last year from Jefferson. I mean, the coward voters would just rather take the easy path and vote for a quarterback, but sans an obvious choice at quarterback, yeah, I do think Jamar Chase won. All right. Where anymore? Let's see. Anymore. Anymore. All right. I think we're done. Okay, let's be done, y'all. We're at an hour. 142 people still watching on YouTube. That's awesome. Only 69 likes, though. Can we please smash that like button, get that number higher? Please do me a favor. Hit the like button. Smash the like button if you would. If you're on mobile, X out of the live chat. Hit the thumbs up. That would be super, super helpful if you would do that. I'd appreciate it. It helps with the algorithm. And if you have not done so yet, please subscribe to the Matt Scone YouTube channel. We're almost to 6,000 subs. We're at 5,940 subs right now. So we're almost to 6,000 subs on YouTube, which is awesome. So thank y'all so much for that. Facebook, shout out to y'all as always. Brock, After Hours Clinic is open today. Hudco Roofing. If you still have that blue tarp on your roof, give us a shout. Love to get you rolling. HudcoRoofing.com, HudcoRoofing.com. Okay, y'all have an awesome day. Have a great Sunday. Who dat? Hopefully, I'll be doing a video after the Saints game, a victorious video. And happy Halloween, happy trick-or-treating, everybody. See y'all. Bye.